today Peony's come down to the store. Peony and I have known each other for a very long time. She first came in how many years ago?
Oh gosh, it's coming up for 8 years
8 years
now.
ago, when she was looking for an engagement present for Matthew, her future husband at the time. And I was always interested to know, Peony, what first attracted you to vintage, why you actually found the store in the first place.
I mean, how can you not be like a moth to a flame with this window? I think I'd walked past the door so many times for years before, and it's so recognisable within the Burlington Arcade. And there's always such a crowd around the window, and you're always like, oh, what's in there? And you have to have a stop and a look. So I'd known for a while about you guys and wanted to explore it more. And there's something really emotional about a vintage watch that I think really plays into my feelings about jewelry in general, that things should be both beautiful but also sentimental, and jewelry is an amazing way to embody feelings. And vintage comes with its own feeling already, and there's something really powerful about that. Yeah,
and I think you were very early into vintage. I mean, vintage now is huge. It's the biggest kind of cult phenomenon in the world across all aspects of fashion, really, not just watches, obviously handbags and style in general, clothing, everything vintage is massive. But I think you appreciated it very early on, as we did. And why I wanted to come here is because you and I have always intrinsically understood each other, and our kind of styles are very similar, and I've always admired what you do and how you kind of combine things together. So I was really interested to get you here to show me what you would do with my watches and what you like, and pieces that, if you want to pick a few, we could just have a little chat and go through.
I'd love to share like maybe my top 5 picks from the window and talk about how and why I pick them and how I'd wear them, because I think I don't believe in kind of gendered watches. I think it's really important that everything is worn by everyone, and I love that kind of vibe around the vintage watch as well, which is partly to do with the colouring and also the size, which is specifically unique to vintage. So it's something that you can buy for your partner, but also enjoy yourself in that cheeky way.
Maybe I should just explain for the people that don't know the store at all. Obviously, we're exclusively Rolex, we're exclusively vintage. It is the largest collection of vintage Rolex on display anywhere in the world. So everything that we're going to discuss today is a vintage piece, and it is a Rolex. We'll start with the first watch you picked out, which is Showstopper, probably one of the rarest watches in the window. And it's really important to point out this is purely your choice. I haven't guided you. You've just gone to the window and picked out whatever you like. So tell me what you like about that.
So to me, what I would call patina of the colour of the face is really unique to vintage, and it's something that you're not going to get otherwise. It's unique to each specific piece, and you have to fall in love with that colour and patterning. And there's something about this one, how you get the kind of reflect of gold into purple with the blue face, that is such a beautiful and rare combination. It's a real show-stopping piece that you'd notice on someone if they're wearing it. Completely. It's not something for the stylishly shy. No. This is something that is really making a statement. And to me, it's also a really tropical, hot temperature watch. This is what you wear on holiday. This is what you wear if you live in a hot country. And it really is beautiful for that kind of sun reflecting environment.
And then you've hit the nail on the head. So that is exactly what that watch is. That is not a natural colour. That has occurred over years and years of sunlight exposure, of heat, of temperature, of all sorts of weather conditions, and it's completely stained, changed and faded the dial, so it's unique. Try and explain, that's the base colour of the watch originally, more of a blue, and here you've got what is one of the strongest colours, one of the rarest colours in Submariner pieces, especially in gold, is purple. To have gone from blue to a really strong purple that you can't argue is purple. Yeah. That's the epitome. As you're wearing it, just very cool, hanging loose, slack.
So I love this kind of look of a loose man-size Rolex. Traditionally would be a man's watch, but I love it on a woman. And you can see with the navy of my jacket, the blue and the purple are a really gorgeous kind of virulent combination.
And if you just stand and let it drop, you can see as a full shot, it just looks amazing. So here we're buying into this whole idea of what are effectively originally men's watches, but they are completely unisex. Anyone can wear them, and that looks just as good on Peony as it would on me. I think stick with the theme of colour just for a moment and let me explain the colourful pieces that you picked out. You picked out a very strong blue and a green. Now, these are hot watches at the moment. They are known as stellar dials. They are layers and layers of paint, fired, repainted, fired again. They are an enamel surface, and they produce these highly vibrant colours, and they are collected now the world over by men and women, to be honest, and they are getting increasingly hard to find. My book is absolutely filled with them. It's been my passion forever, and now kind of everyone's caught up with this market, and they're impossible for me to get, so I've kind of created my own problem, if you like, because no one wants to sell them anymore. So, but here we are.
We've talked about these for years,
yeah,
and you're passionate about them for years. There is something that feeds so into fashion and style with the coloured faces, because it very much is about making your own style statement.
Yeah.
It's about what you're wearing clothing-wise, other jewellery-wise alongside it. And again, switching the straps up. And this is something me and you have talked about for years. And changing from a bracelet to a strap completely changes the aesthetic of a watch. So something like this with the blue is obviously stunning in the winter. And that you can imagine that with a cream cashmere coat, knits, you know, it's that Laura Peony look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Piano look. And then into the summer, if you added a colourful strap to it, you can imagine it layered up with kind of friendship bracelets and Buddha beads. Completely. And you know, and it's a much cooler denim short look.
They totally tone it down, make it very, very individual. I mean, we've done this for such a long time that I've even taught you how to do it yourself. So it is very straightforward.
It's super easy. Honestly, you do not have to be skilled to do it.
Basically having two watches. So if you were deciding between these two pieces, the key features are colour. Obviously, is blue easier to wear than green, but green stands out amazingly on the yellow gold. Do you want a yellow gold watch or a white gold watch? They are 10 times rarer in white gold. Then, if you've gone full gold and you really want to make the man in your life very jealous, you go for the men's vintage Daytona models, but in gold.
So I actually have one of these, and it was my everyday watch for many years. I'm actually on one of David's steel watches now as my everyday watch, but I love a Daytona in gold.
Yeah.
To me, there's something that's the perfect combination of kind of that sport watch look with the dials, but it's also really kind of bougie and jewelry, and it plays into like layering a lot of different jewelry around it. They look really gorgeous also in the mixed gold bracelets as well. And with the black, it works so well with other accessories. So if you think about it in terms of like carrying your Hermes bag with gold hardware or a Chanel bag with gold hardware, and then the black on the dials really playing into that, and it creates like an additional accessory basically to that fashion look.
And it's a hard choice because the champagne matches the bracelet, tones the watch down a little bit, but the gold really pops with the black face.
I think that
and that's, for us, true vintage.
Yeah.
That's the iconic Daytona watch, but in its rarest format, gold.
And if you look at it actually on this wrist, I've got a volcanic stone bracelet on and a couple of other pieces, and layered up with other black jewelry and a Cartier chain, you get this really cool, understated look.
Yeah.
So, you know, you are wearing a super expensive, luxurious watch, but this is how you make it your style. You're not just saying money, you're saying something so much more interesting than that.
Totally.
You know?
They are talking points. So if you were to walk around with that, people would recognize it as a Daytona, to be honest, because it has that iconic styling, but get a little bit closer to you and they won't understand the watch at all. Oh, that doesn't look like a current collection watch. It doesn't look like something that's made today. What is it? And then that starts that conversation. And also important to say, old gold, vintage gold is a totally different color
100%.
to new. So you're wearing something old, oldish. I would say that's got that, vintage feel about it.
So
and you can see
what age is this?
18 karat gold, 1973, very early, one of the first kind of gold pieces. But there's something about it. It's not bright gold. It's a very soft color. It's really interesting that you picked this out, because this is not everybody's taste at all.